Nicole from Littleworks Indie Media here in Vancouver, and we are doing Geek Speak today with Greg. And Greg, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hey everyone, I'm Greg McKinnon with Original 72 Creative, and we're a full service website graphic design and digital marketing firm in Vancouver.
And today it's all about algorithms and influencers and what to love and what to hate about them. And Greg,
I
this
think
is
I
your
hate
topic,
more
right?
about I hate more about them than you apparently from our pre-discussion.
Well, hate's kind of harsh. There are lots of
I
things I
think
hate in the world.
what I think is I'm coming at it more from an angle of a user being on there, and you are coming at it more from the angle of the marketer.
Sometimes.
So
Sometimes.
yeah,
I mean, I do like the algorithm for very particular reasons that I will talk about in a little bit here. But obviously, I understand that the algorithm, it's a tool, and like all tools, it can be used to and be organized in any kind of manner of ways to do a whole bunch of different kinds of things. And how we choose, and when I say we, I don't mean we as in me, I mean how companies choose to organize the algorithm. Sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not so great, and we have to work around it or just leave. So yeah, so I think, but I do think of it from the perspective of a business owner and how to harness it. But I also think of it in terms of my own usage because I'm on social media a lot, even when I don't have to be.
whatever you did right there, your sound is a little bit lower.
Oh, that's weird. I haven't touched anything. Let me just try the. Oh, the levels look okay. Is it
Okay,
still
there
low?
you're louder now. Okay,
Oh, that's
that
weird.
works.
Nothing was changed, so must have been a weird glitch.
So I guess we should maybe start off with a little overview of what an algorithm is and what it's supposed to do, and
Right.
the fact that it is different on every platform. Like each social channel has their own algorithm to give you content, but just to give people a quick view of what the algorithm is, what it tries to do for us.
Sure. So, do you want me to start?
No, well,
You've got some. Yeah.
basically, each of the social platforms have an algorithm that they use for. I'm going to say for their purposes because obviously they're trying to provide some type of service within the social channel
Yeah.
to be able to cater what they want us to see and content that they're actually making money off of in front of eyeballs on those channels. And the algorithm basically takes into consideration what we've looked at, what we've interacted with, those types of signals to gauge what everybody's interested to cater the content that is presented to us so that it's relevant to us or the ads are relevant to us, whether it be free content or paid content. It is hopefully trying to get in front of us things that we are interested in.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But one of the problems with the algorithms, well, there are a number of problems, but the one that you might notice as a user is that they assume the amount of content that is appropriate to be seen. So they determine what that number of things that get served up to you is in advance. And as you like new things and add new people to your sphere, as like on Facebook as friends, then certain other people and other kinds of things drop off your list of things that you like, unless you're actively going back and re-engaging with that content, and then you can bring it back into your sphere. So you might notice. I really noticed it on TikTok more recently, where the content that was being fed to me was one topic mostly, and with a bunch of other little things in there, and then it moved. Just it moved like, okay. So I'll tell. It was the dance stuff. It was the shuffle dance. I was all about the shuffle dance. Then it moved into a lot of political stuff because Black Lives Matters came up at that time, and I was really interested in listening to content from Black too via Facebook Live. And Greg, if you're watching me, I sent you the link to join me in your chat. So jump on, please. All right, on. There we go. Hey, how's it going? Let's see if I can get, how do we get both of us on here?
Well, considering I've not done a Facebook Live,
Nor have I wonder if this whole thing is being projected, like streamed. See call participants. Nope, that's not it. All right, I'm not sure how it actually looks. Are you actually looking on the Facebook page too?
I will take a quick look.
Yeah, let's just see how this is streaming.
I see that you've gone live.
I have gone live. We are live. So I'm just going to pick up where I'd left off.
Oh, we're side by side on there. So
side by side. Oh, that looks better. That's not what we see. Okay, cool, great. Yeah. So I was actually rambling on about how the TikTok algorithm seemed to work for me.
Yeah, you were going on about how you were seeing all of the dances, and then when Black Lives Matter was big, you were seeing a lot of that content.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So my question on that is, so I saw the exact same thing, and yet I didn't want to see that content, but I was seeing that content. So that was one of the reasons why I feel algorithms don't really work, because they're basically, I feel, just showing you current relevant content and not so much necessarily what you've interacted with. It's more like trending stuff, and I am like, I don't want to see all this stuff. Like, I don't care about this stuff. And I didn't know whether or not it was because maybe I stopped and was like, for one thing, like someone was saying something that I was like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. But then as soon as you stop and watch something for a second, all of a sudden algorithms are like, well, he must want more of this. And that's not necessarily always the case.
Well, that's actually, that points to two problems. First of all, yes, you're absolutely right. Facebook, TikTok, and all the rest, they actually don't know when you love something or hate something. If you're hate watching something, they're going to send you more of that stuff because you are interacting. So when you say you're not interacting, if you're stopping to listen to what someone says, that is actual interaction. And I know you, Greg. I know you. I know that you actually don't interact, follow anyone, or follow hashtags or anything like that on TikTok. So you're you're probably getting the worst kind of algorithmic experience that is out there, because you really do have to train the algorithms. You notice it more. I notice the content algorithm is actually what I noticed in TikTok, and that's what I was getting at, is because I don't have a lot of friends on TikTok. I'm not actually following very many of my friends at all, so I just follow the topics that I like, and therefore the topics are the things that I notice the most. Which is different than what I notice on Facebook. I notice that when I make a new Facebook friend, I get a lot of their content right away. And that's by design. That's not a mistake. That's by design. And I automatically will interact with it no matter what. It's usually, nowadays, it's usually more business colleagues, other kinds of colleagues, friends of friends. It's not really my close group of friends, because my close group of friends, I had connected with Facebook at the very beginning of Facebook, right? So, and I rarely see anything from my close group of friends anymore, because I haven't interacted with their stuff in ages. So every now and again, I'll go and I'll poke on their page and see what's going on and look at the pictures and interact with a few of the last things. And then all of a sudden, I'll get them back into my feed again, because it resets. So on Facebook, I notice it's more about who I'm connected to, in addition to the things that I like. Also, it's a lot harder on Facebook because I am liking a lot of my client things. I'm liking a lot of business things. I'm liking a lot of things that if I didn't have a marketing company, I probably wouldn't necessarily hit that like button on it because I'm being supportive of my people.
Yeah.
Whereas on TikTok, on TikTok, I'm actually not connected in a business way. It's my pure pleasure on there. And so therefore I'm getting more of the actual content that I'm interested in viewing as a person in the world, not as a business owner.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's another story too, like not necessarily social media related, but obviously everybody knows that there's algorithms for the search engines and things like
Yeah,
that too. And one of the things you brought up was, you know, the fact that as a marketer helping your clients, you are trying to also support them going to their content, liking their stuff. So your feed also ends up being a lot of that stuff, which is
that's right.
not necessarily things you like, but things you've interacted with because of
That's
your
right.
business. And I get the exact same thing, especially when I'm like researching sites that clients are like, I like this site, so I go to that site and look at it, and then all of a sudden, all my advertising is like, oh, you've been to our site, you
That's
obviously
right.
want something from us, and I don't because
That's right.
I was just
That's
here
right.
looking, to see what your site looked like.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of control. It's basically our actions. I actually have one browser that I keep for my shopping browser so that I can get the things that I'm actually interested in. I don't know
Yeah.
if anyone else does that out there, but that's what I do to avoid all of this other stuff. But I just want to point out some of the benefits because I also think, and I know that I brought this up before in other videos, one of the things that the algorithm does do well in my mind is it's made things way more personalized, which is what it's supposed to. How personalized it can go, I think, is what we're going to get into next, because I know Greg has a really good, some really good points on that. But what we used to have, which is what I didn't like at all, internet advertising that was coming in front of my face, which was over 40 and fat. It was always just that, because the only things that they knew were my demographic, and then they just made assumptions. I mean, they were pretty right on the fat part, but that's not the point. The point is the assumptions that they make. We're having to make before they were collecting any data on users. So I like that in Facebook. I can like all the yoga pages, and then I get yoga studios that are in my neighborhood um, that are offering new things. I like that I get those ads in my feed. I like that Facebook recognizes that I'm a foodie, and I love that they send me new restaurants that are opening up in the area. What I dislike about it is how large companies have come on and monopolized those keywords. So now I'm
Mhm.
getting way more, I'm really not that interested in a lot of stuff that mainstream culture is at my age range. I don't have kids. I don't have, so I'm starting to see a lot more stuff for, what have I seen lately? I'm just trying to think of like car companies
Mm.
and, um, and larger corporations that I wouldn't necessarily be interested in supporting in that way. I have noticed a lot of more of that since they've come into the space. And um, and then I think what you were talking about in your with that article before we got on the live, I think this is a great segue into how it's not working. So do you want to bring up some of those ideas when
Yeah,
we can only get
the article.
personalized so much?
Yeah, I mean, these are programmed algorithms, right? So they're going to do exactly what they're programmed to do, and typically the like we said in the beginning, the thought of these things are to figure out what is the most popular thing and show that content to you. So the analogy that I found in this article was an example of, people were surveyed for fruits, and rank them, how they like them best to worst, or like if they like them at all, right? And so there was apples and bananas and oranges and I think another fruit I can't remember, but bananas were not necessarily the first choice of everybody, but everybody did rank bananas somewhere. So when the algorithm would look at this content, it would see, well, everybody has chosen banana at some point in their ranking. So banana is clearly the favorite fruit, which isn't the case. It's just one that everybody does like, but it's not the best.
So it's a certain
So
amount of personalizing and then averaging out. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yeah.
Huh.
So that what we're getting is like I can't remember what it said. If it's the most popular uh, content over the best content, kind of analogy, right?
So I have a question. Did it actually talk about, so if they serve up this content, so as a marketer, I'm always trying to serve up content that maybe people, that I think that people want because
mhm,
of keywords. So
mhm.
I think they want it. I'm not entirely sure that they want it, you know, but I think they want it based on the keywords and exactly that algorithm trying to match up people that based on those keywords. So if I send it out to them and then nobody upticks, if it doesn't uptake, like if nobody interacts with it, does it die down or does it just keep going? Are you saying that we're going to push out stuff continually even that though there's no uptake?
I'm just saying the way the article was talking about how uh, often algorithms will rank things is incorrect because of the
Got it.
fact that everybody does like bananas, but it's not the best one of everybody's, like it's not everybody's first choice, but
Right.
because the majority of people have it in the list, bananas become the most popular thing to show to people, when in fact there are other fruits that are clearly the more favorite over the banana, but because the banana is in everybody's ranking, it becomes the one that is shown to everybody.
But isn't the algorithm based on collecting data, or is it, because it sounds to me like the algorithm has decided that bananas are listed somewhere, so it's collecting the data from people's posts. Is that what it's, and then it decides that that's the best fruit? That's what
This
you're
was
saying?
just this was just an example
Yeah,
of
no, I get
how
that.
how the algorithms worked in a small sample.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah,
So I guess the point is, I guess what I'm wondering as a marketer is that, is it really important for me to get every single individual's favorite fruit under to get that information, or if I'm a banana bread maker, then, or a baker, then maybe that's what I want to know is everybody's top 10, not immediate first.
right.
So, so okay, so that's interesting. I also want to point out that that there's this other thing. Like, if you actually do go to content, like we talk about, then it becomes this sort of echo chamber that you only ever get the stuff that you like, whether it's first choice or 10th choice, it doesn't matter. But you don't actually hear what anyone else is saying, and it interrupts discourse. If you think that there is actually discourse on social media. But one of the things that I've done quite regularly is go into spaces where I know that people that are going to have different opinions that I do spend time, so that I can actually, always have the litmus test to see what the rest of the world is thinking and doing, and what's going on. So therefore, the algorithm thinks that I like that content. So that's one of the other things, and they'll serve that up to me. Um, whether or not that's what I'm doing. And not only that, it shows everybody that I like that, or that I belong to that group, which is
Right.
also a bit problematic. You can't sort of, it attaches itself to your identity and your online identity in a way that
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable with, actually.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but ways to get around the algorithm, and ways to think about the algorithm if you're a marketer, is to think about paid advertising, which of course you're going to run into that problem that Greg, you just brought up, where you might be missing the mark, which is probably true. Um, but um, and some algorithms are definitely better than others. I still find Facebook a really good form of advertising for small businesses and not for profits, because it's still cheap and you still can find your target market easier than any other space. But what do you do? Like, I know that you're really anti-algorithm. So where do you spend your
I'm
time and
I'm
how do you
not I'm not
organize?
necessarily anti-algorithm.
Okay.
I would like them to be better, and I would like control
Yeah.
over being able to better say these are the things I like and these are the things I want to
But have
see.
you done that? Because you do that. Every single post that goes through your feed, you can actually mark, I don't want to see this. This is irrelevant for me. Or I want to block this whole page or business from showing me anything. Do you do that?
I have in the past, but I don't bother anymore because I'm starting to basically not use social media for personal anymore. Like
Right.
for me, it's not social anymore. Like social, and this is one of the things why I think the whole topic came about for me is algorithms and influencers are killing social media and maybe it's social media is killing social media because it's basically pay to play now.
Yeah.
And it's not social. I'm not going on there just to be social with people I know. I'm going on there and being bombarded with things that people are trying to sell more than I'm going on there to be social anymore.
Right. Yeah, I would say that I agree with that completely. I'd say that there are some nice little small little crevices in there that I really appreciate for sure. Um, and
i
I
think
suppose,
I think groups are amazing, and I typically stick to groups, especially on Facebook now. I rarely just scroll through my feed. I'm going on Facebook and I'm going into a group that I'm in, and I'm socializing with those people
yeah,
that have like interests than me. So
yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah, and I think that's a great space. Um, Oh, I did have a thought and now it's, oh yes. And then there's the other thing. The algorithm changes constantly. So the algorithm on Facebook has been the most drastic change as far as I'm concerned, from when it started to where it is now. And unfortunately, they're throttling, I call it throttling, they're throttling the organic algorithm of on Instagram. So then
mhm.
it really becomes more of a pay to play space for businesses anyways. But also I just feel like, um, yeah, Instagram has kind of lost it for me. It's really a marketplace. It's like a huge market. It's nothing but a marketplace
Mhm.
anymore. And I guess that's why I'm really digging TikTok. And I'm sure TikTok will organize their algorithm differently and create a pay to play space. And Twitter, I also get annoyed with that. I actually am constantly moving I cannot consume enough content. I am that person. Facebook, I look at, I'm pretty much done all the content by about, I don't know, 11 in the morning, and then it's always repeats. Like I can't get any new content.
Mhm.
Um, and I wish I could turn that faucet on a little bit bigger because that's would be my appetite. Instagram is the same thing. It takes me a long time to find new content, and Twitter has that little up in the top right corner, see more or see latest posts, and it always seems to default to see top posts. That's what it is, top
Right.
posts. I
Right.
can't stand the top posts. I don't want the top posts. That's where all the garbage is as far as I'm concerned. I like the as it comes. I want that kind of that social media, and I really think that Instagram should be forced to change its name because it's not Instagram anymore. It's Algogram. You know, like I
Yeah.
want Instagram back. I want Instagram back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess TikTok's your new Instagram.
Yes,
It's just video
but still, even
instead
there,
of
if I'm
pictures. Yeah.
not, yeah, eventually, I actually tap out of new content on TikTok too pretty quick. It only takes me, I think, a couple of hours. If I do a couple of hours and I watch the next day is a lot of repeats.
And further to my Facebook, only going into groups and really seeing the group stuff because I feel like the group stuff also there is somewhat an algorithm of the posts that you see in the group,
More and more.
but less so than in your normal feed. At the same time, I sort of stopped going to Twitter a lot, but I'm
Oh,
going back to Twitter again
yeah.
because I've basically created my own lists.
Hmm.
And I basically don't scroll through my normal Twitter feed. I go
Right.
to the list I created of the people who I want to see, whether it be business, sports, or what have you. I just go to Twitter and I look at my
Yeah.
predefined list of people who I want to see their content, and it's chronological.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the latest or scrolling back in time and seeing that. So it's much easier to get all of the content that you want in that way.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. I like the timeline. It's easier for things. I go on Twitter when election night was really fun on Twitter, and conferences and things like that. I like to see the play-by-play of everything. And even if I'm not there, I can go back and search the hashtag and get that play-by-play. But does anyone remember lists in Facebook? Do we remember lists in Facebook?
I actually don't remember lists in
Oh,
Facebook.
I really was into that. You can list your friends right now, but there's no feed that corresponds with it unless somebody can find it. I haven't found it. If you can find a list for your friends lists, like a feed for your friends lists, then I would love to know that because that used to really be my favorite space. I could choose my close friends and then I could just look at the content for them. I could make a list about all of my art friends and just look at art for a while or what my art people are doing. That was really fun. And then I could keep my business people on a separate channel. And then you could actually do things by topic without having a hashtag because in Facebook, the reason why, or in, and actually other platforms, the reason why I don't like the hashtag is because sometimes I really just want to see what my people are doing. I don't want to see everything that's out in the world with the same hashtag.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that would be, and that's also why I like groups because you can search the group by hashtag. So that's awesome, or
yeah.
by tag. Yeah,
I do that a lot to find old posts or something. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
great. Well, we've gone way a little bit over, but I think we have a little
yeah,
bit
well,
more time. For
we
more
were
time.
off there for 10 minutes.
I
Did
know.
you want to chat quickly about influencers? It could
Yeah,
probably be its own
it's
topic,
yeah,
but
I think so.
um, I mean, I think we should probably touch on it quickly since it's
Hmm.
in the title of this one. But
Yeah.
again, influencers, I guess, first and foremost, to tell everybody, influencers are people basically who have influence over the people on the social platform, people with huge followings, basically. And the fact that the larger the following, the more eyeballs that they could potentially get by companies sponsoring a post through them, paying them a bunch of money, and them putting content out in front of their huge following essentially is what an influencer is. Um, my problem with influencers is that I don't trust, and I'm gonna say basically I don't trust what I see anymore as being authentic or not authentic because the way these influencers sometimes work is either it's blatant like I'm promoting this product or it's very subtle, and if it's subtle I still don't want to see it and be sold whatever it is that they're whatever they're showing. What are your thoughts on influencers and their
Well,
effect on social media?
yeah, I've got a few thoughts on that. First of all, I'm not really one to well, I don't know. Maybe I do, and I just don't see it. But I don't really see myself as falling for advertising in general. Um, so it doesn't really bother me. Most of the time, I roll my eyeballs at it. Sometimes it's done really cleverly, and I like it. Like I think some of the stuff on TikTok that I'm seeing, where they actually create TikTok actions, based on certain products. Like they did that one for the Ocean Spray cranberry juice, which was the Stevie Nicks song, and people were skateboarding, and lots of people did that. I don't,
Right.
that I'm not sure if Ocean Spray actually paid those people or not, because I think even Jagmeet Singh did one, so I suspect not. But
I think it was that was
but
just ended up being a trend because there
yeah,
was some guy that was longboarding
that's
with
right.
this thing, and everybody just made a video of it because they thought it
That's what
was
I think.
hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
what I think too. But I think that when things happen like that, that's more interesting for me.
Yes.
When they did the bounty campaign on TikTok, that one was really obvious, and it was too obvious. It was like Bounty had given them particular parameters on how to introduce their product, what to say, and that just came across as what you're talking about, really inauthentic. I didn't really care too much because I was still watching food TikTok, and they were still giving me really good recipes that I liked, but I didn't really care for the bounty touch at all, because
Hmm.
it just was contrived. But there are a few other people that are doing it, more genuinely. Like the people that I follow for business, they give me really great ideas on platforms that I can use, and they definitely have referral links. They're very upfront about the fact that they have a referral link. They genuinely use I believe that they genuinely use this platform, and if the platform didn't work for me, I wouldn't use it anyway, so there's no problem, but I can try it out and see if I like it. Those kinds of things, those tech ones, those ones I find really useful. There is one woman who basically she does her top 5 products on Amazon, and those are the only type of videos that she does. I like watching her. She's funny and she's fun, and she gets these wacky kind of products, and she does a little demo, or yeah, she does a demo, shows you what it is, and then tells you if she likes it or not. And that's it. And I suspect she gets her product for free, but I don't know. I don't mind. I don't mind watching. The I want to call them kids, but the people who do the makeup tutorials, and then some makeup company sends them the product. I don't
Hmm.
mind that on TikTok, because so far the TikTok influencers have been, they're not, they don't feel obliged to give a raving review. They'll tell you the aspects that they like about it, and they'll tell you the aspects that they don't like about it, and they'll tell you who it's not good for or who it is good for. And in those cases, I feel like those are quite authentic, so I'm fine with that. I don't know if they get paid to do those posts, or they just get products sent to them. I'm not sure the details, because there's so many ways of organizing the influencers, and how to pay. And TikTok actually pays the influencers themselves. So um, that I wonder how much that has to do with the authenticity of, say, the makeup people that get the product and test the product, give
Right.
reviews. So yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I do hate most, I think, about the influencer space is that everybody is trying to become an
An influencer.
influencer.
Yeah, it's true.
Um,
I've got my own affiliate links for sure.
yeah. I mean,
But
it's not if it happens authentic, like organically, then fine. But there are
yeah,
people um, on there with the specific goal of trying to get as many followers as they can to become an
yes,
influencer, and
yeah,
their content I'm not sure is
yes.
the best content. There might just be a lot of it, and their whole goal is just to gain mass following so that they can try to make money off of plugging things.
Yeah, it's
Um,
that woman that was the vegan that got totally roasted, because it turns out she wasn't vegan. She was influencing people. And so this is where I have ethical issues with it. It's like, if you are, in the health and wellness arena, that's where it just gets all out of whack. If you're in the health and wellness arena, and you don't have any qualifications to be giving that kind of advice, like, honestly, I think it's really dangerous. I think it leads to, they were talking about, eating disorders, all of that stuff is stacked up. So you wouldn't like that's the arena of influencer space that I have so many problems with. It's the kind of the hot girl syndrome. You know,
Hmm.
they're hot. And they you know they time and time again there are articles about how they've been disingenuous and downright dangerous. Same with the fitness space. I would say that all of those spaces, I have a harder time with influencer marketing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, unless you have something else to say about influencers, I don't really have anything to go on about.
No,
I've said my piece.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
think we're
But
probably combined between the first little bit and this, so we're probably at our half hour.
it's true. It's
Yeah.
true. But a genuine influencer who's somebody who actually works in the space. They're an expert in the arena that they're working in, that they're talking about. And they have like a premium newsletter where they have links to things that you can buy, that kind of thing. I sign up for those things because it actually reduces my research time. It's just a
Mhm.
quick way for me to figure out where all the new tools are, and I can test them out really quickly and then decide what's good for my business and my clients.
Perfect.
Right on. Well, thank you very much for joining. Do you know what's up next week, Greg? I forgot to look.
Um, you know what? I do not know what's up next week, but I could tell you. Oh yeah, because we have 5 Geek Speaks. Actually, no, I don't know because this was the last one for this month.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah,
We'll be talking about something particularly exciting, I'm sure.
it'll be super exciting. I know that.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to do with this one is we'll organize the two links together so you can watch part one and part two in the same space. And maybe on YouTube, we will be stitching these together and maybe re-uploading them.
We'll get right
So
on that.
sorry about that. I don't know what happened to Ecamm today, but it glitched out and it would not connect to the internet, kept throwing us off. So sorry about that. That happens every now and again with technology.
We're allowed to have glitches
We are
once in a
allowed to have
while.
glitches. All right, and now the next glitch is how to turn this live off, which
Oh, I
where's
think
the
you just
end?
hang up. Well, I could just hang up on you. Then you're all
Okay,
alone.
then I'll be all alone. Okay, maybe I'll just close out that thing and see if that works. All right, see you next time.
Bye, everyone.